What is up, y'all? I am the MCMNG.
And I am Master Chanel.
And together we are
Deep Sector, back on the scene with our guest, my cousin.
Derrek, Bryant. I'm born and raised in Colorado, Denver over here in the Mile High.
Hell yeah. Thanks for joining us, man.
Of course. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, thank you. So just tell us a little bit about you, about your life, growing up possibly,
Okay.
or just...
So I guess a little bit about myself. As you guys know, I'm born and raised in Colorado. I am Angelo's older cousin. I'm 29 years old. His mother is my auntie, of course. And so I got my mom, Ursula, his mother, Melissa, of course, my other auntie, Shireen. We're all here in Colorado. I got probably, I don't even know how many cousins. 5 brothers, but no sisters. And so that was a funny thing because Auntie Shireen was the only one who had girls. Your mom and my mom had nothing but boys. And so that's why there's so many boys in the family. But a little short thing about me, I guess, is Angelo's cousin. And I don't really know, to be honest with you. I'm a busy man. I do got 5 kids, so I got 2 stepsons. 3 biological kids, and my 2 stepsons, they call me dad, so it's one of those things to where I don't really say they're my stepsons. I just call them sons, but it's hard to, I guess, when you're talking to people that don't really know that, you just say stepsons. But other than that, I'm a family man, and so
Nice.
That's really all I do. Oh yeah, that's what I'm with my kids every day. I have a disabled daughter. Which makes it not hard, just busy, you know what I mean? So just always on top of your toes, which is why I was running a little bit late today, trying to get the kids going. I live in Loveland, so it's a little bit of a drive.
Thanks for coming down.
Look at what he got us. He got us a juicy wrap.
I just literally
hemp
stopped at
wraps.
this place.
Nice.
Lit. I've been there. They're pretty good.
Honestly, I got a little good deal off this. It was a simple, I got a whole ounce for $70 right there. And it was
wow.
If you spend more than $50, they give you an eighth for $1. And so, honestly, it was a steal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So then you got the ounce and an eighth?
Yeah. It was one of those things where I could give you 10% off and not give you that eighth for the extra $1, or take away the 10% and then I could give you this. They couldn't double. They couldn't stack them. So you either get 10% off or get the eighth for $1 if you spend more than 50. So I spent $70. There's actually more than an ounce, and there's an ounce with an eighth.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, like
That's
usually
fresh.
you can only get like an ounce. Isn't that the limit?
Typically, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny you said that, actually, now that you're bringing that up. Maybe he made a mistake, so I think...
Maybe he made a mistake.
Well, now that you're bringing that up, at the place I go to is Green Tree. And I can only get an ounce, actually, now that you guys are saying that.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, dang, so you got an ounce and an eighth?
Yeah, and so I got more than an ounce, actually, so yeah.
That's
And
interesting.
I'll be honest with you guys, though, so I go based off of the smell. I didn't really like it too much, so I kind of had a hard time choosing which one I wanted. So I'm like, let's just go with this, call it good. I was being way too indecisive in there.
No
I'm
doubt.
the same way.
You can smell it, though.
Let me see what
I like that
we're
skunky
working with.
smell, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like growing up and stuff, like I was introduced to a lot of marijuana at a young age, and just this, being able to smell it, and I really love like the piney smell, and I feel like as it's nowadays it isn't as piney as it used to be.
Yeah. A lot of that, a lot of the stuff I was smelling, I'll be honest with you, I didn't really smell too much of it. And I was like, I even told the guy that was working there, I'm like, I didn't smell too much of it.
That's kind of funny
compared to where I go to, I guess.
Yeah, when I buy, I don't really buy. I go off like I usually get the usual stuff I get.
Yeah,
high percentage personally.
Is it the same? Are they both the same?
they're different. So that's the white 99 on the eighth right there. That one is grape drink. It's more of an indica. And I'm actually more of a sativa person.
Is this dispensary recreational?
Rec and med.
Rec and med. Are you got your med card?
I do.
Oh, that's probably.
Oh yeah,
That's why you got the deal, huh?
Yes. So I was on the med side when I got that side. So yes.
Okay.
Nice.
Okay.
I probably wasn't on that on the rec side. So yeah.
That brings a lot of clarity. That's also why they probably were able to give you more than an ounce too. Because I think you get.
Well, even at the other places where I was getting it with my meds card,
yeah, you were
because
saying
I was
that,
only able to get an ounce. But the other guy had to check in on it, so that he's going to double check because he's saying that he thinks I should be able to get 2 with my med card.
That's what I'm saying. I thought you could get more.
I thought back in the day, 10 years ago, you could. I mean, not 10, sorry. But when it first started getting legalized, people who had their med card, because I had it 5 years ago for a little while, but you could get to.
I swear, Samuel, he had his med card, and he could get up to a pound.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Like, whatever he got, I don't know if it was like some special shit or like it was like something you can do. You can add the amounts of ounces or what, that you're able to carry. But I remember he was saying he could get a pound.
How long ago? Probably a few years back?
No, that was like last year.
I'd have to see that, to be honest with you. And things change all the time, and I'll be honest with you, I don't even pay attention to a lot of it. So, like, a lot of people are into politics and a lot of other stuff. I'm actually the total opposite. I'm the person that, like, I live my life. Like, I think people should just live their life. And I mean, like, the whole COVID thing and the mask, I think it's retarded. In a sense to where it's cool. People have their own life, no judgmental thing. But at the same time, too, like, I mean, that's just, I feel like it's unnecessary, I guess, in a sense to where now anyone who coughs. So, like, where I'm getting at is, like, even with the school these days, with schools and what they're teaching, my son or daughter could have a cough. And they're including that as a COVID symptom. That's a cough is part of every sickness if you think about it.
No, it's straight up.
A cough is, if you have a little cold, you're going to have a cough. So you can't walk down the street and see someone coughing and automatically think, oh, he probably has COVID. That's like walking down the street and be like, oh, he has the flu. I mean, the flu, part of the symptoms for the flu is also cough. You know what I mean? So where I'm getting at with that is they should have like 2 or 3 symptoms from something in order to have that regard. So say if my son has a fever and he's coughing and throwing up, of course I'm going to go get him a COVID test. But if he just has a cough and no fever, there's no point to go do all that. You know what I mean? It's I mean, as a parent, then we'd be in the hospital all the time.
Right. Yeah, that can be excessive too, yeah. Especially 5 kids, it's a lot.
Yeah, and honestly, it's one of those things to where it's so I actually never thought I would actually have kids. So when I was in high school, I was one of those kids who didn't know if I wanted kids. Had it set up to where I didn't want kids, and things happen for a reason. And honestly, my life has changed for the better by 100%, 150%. I have something to look forward to every day. I remember back when we lived up in Inglewood, you know what I mean? Before I had my son, I was working at McDonald's. It's one of those things to where you wake up every day, but you don't even know what you're doing with your life. You know what I mean? I wake up now to where I have a goal set. You know what I mean? Even if it's a goal set just for the day. You know what I mean? I know what I'm doing for the day. Part of that is having kids, having the responsibility, but I wouldn't have all that. I feel like if I didn't have my kids, or I wouldn't take it so serious, I guess. So, yeah.
Yeah, I agree. You need something that makes you feel like a priority. You know what I'm saying? Something that shows you what's important.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, family has always done that for me.
Oh, yeah. Big time.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. I don't have kids yet. My animals are my kids, pretty much.
Honestly, I could even say this to where I'm over here saying like my son. So I had my son at 21, but I could honestly sit there and say like, yeah, I had him at a young age. It probably changed my life for the best. But I also still wish I waited a little longer to have kids. Like I wish that I have my daughter. She's 2 now. I just had her, so I wish I was more at that 27, 28 years old age when I had my first child. I'm not saying I regret any of them, but I do wish I waited because what people think, like I could sit here and be like, oh, I had my kid at a young age, and it helped me for the better. But that's just me being selfish because you're not thinking about the kid. At the same time, did you give that kid the best childhood he could have had? I could honestly say that I didn't step up to be a proper father that I should have until after my son was probably a year old. Probably until I was 22. So I had him when got pregnant when I was 20, had him at 21. I didn't step up to actually be a proper father until a little later, you know what I mean, until it really struck. And it just takes some growing up to do, you know what I mean? I was young, but it's not saying that if I would have waited, like say if I was 28, 29, when I had a better head on my shoulders and then had a child, that I could have raised him properly to begin with. Not saying that I'm not doing a good job now, but there's also things that he's probably been around at a younger age that I would not have wanted that, you know what I mean? Moving around, such things, you know what I mean? I got evicted when I was, my first eviction was when he was 6 months. You know what I mean? I was 21, so stuff like that. You know what I mean? That you would rather go through alone and not with the child. You know what I mean?
I feel
But
that.
there's other people who I don't know. I like I've had a rough lifestyle, but I also have it really good compared to a lot of other people. You know what I mean? So people compare money like, yeah, you make more money than me, but I also make a lot more money than other people. So I hate when people like compare one another, like worry about you. Yeah, this person makes more money than me, but then you also make more money than this person. So it goes both ways. You know what I mean?
You know, Jaron Benton said it one time. It's like better than some, worse than others. You know, it's how it is. You know, like it's always going to be. That's how reality is. You know, there's always somebody bigger, badder. There's always somebody, you know, weaker. You know, it's how it is.
It's how it is. And so don't focus on, I guess, trying to be better than someone else. Just focus on yourself. And I always, a little model thing I have going is if people focused on working on their self as much as they do talking about other people, maybe they would get somewhere in life. You know what I mean?
Right.
Not in a rude way, because, I mean, everybody talks about one another. You know what I mean? Everyone's going to get into a conversation. But if people spend as much time as they did doing that, working on their self, you'd be surprised on where you could get in life. You know what I mean? And it's funny you brought up Jaron Benton, because I was just listening to him. I was showing my son, my 13-year-old, he doesn't know about Funk Volume, about Hobson, Swizz, Dizzy Wright, and so I was showing him some of that, because when they were around, that's who I used to listen to. And so you brought up Jaron Benton, and we were just listening to him. So
Nice. Yeah, Funk Volume's the
That's
shit.
tight.
R.I.P. Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, no, it's, yeah. I mean, it's just reality, you know. You gotta just, you know, do you, man. Focus on yourself. You know, I'm trying to be better than I was. You know, I'm only trying to improve myself, and yeah, I'm trying to be better than I was in the last moment or, you know, yesterday. And it's a process, you know, it doesn't happen all at once, you know, and it's all about experience, really. You know, the more you go through, the more you can truly have more perspective on, you know, everything, and it helps with just your whole, you know, decision-making process and everything you do.
Oh, yeah.
It's pretty wild.
Yeah, life in general, for sure, though. And I'm guessing, do you have any kids?
I don't.
You don't?
Yeah.
So how old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm 25.
25? And how old are you again? You're 24, right?
25 too.
Oh, you're 25?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So you guys are the same age.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. We're getting up there.
No, honestly, I like, it's a blessing getting older, so I'm one of those people to where, and it may sound stupid, but I'm 29, about to be 30, but I can't wait until I'm 40. You know what I mean? Just to see where I'm at in life. And it's one of those things to where I don't know where I'm going to be at, but, and it could be a scary feeling at times, to be honest with you, because it's not like I'm scared of failure, but it's also, I guess, it's hard to say. I don't know what I'm scared of, to be honest with you. Life in general can be scary at times. You know what I mean? I guess the worst thing I'd be scared about is, I guess, not succeeding, but like losing a loved one. You know what I mean? Because I feel like that's the hardest thing that someone could go through in life, or like losing a child. And so, I feel like those are just the things that every parent thinks about. You know what I mean? And so,
Yeah.
No, yeah, making sure your kids make it well.
that, but you can only do so much raising them, because you can raise your kid to be the best. I mean, it's not going to say anything. It's all you can do. You know what I mean? You could have kids there's some of these kids that go up and shoot up these schools or whatever. Some of them actually had pretty good lives. You know what I mean?
For real.
They didn't even go through half the stuff that some of us went through on the streets. You know what I mean? But then they're doing stuff like that, not in a rude way, to where who knows what people are really going through, like the bullying and stuff, because that can really happen. You know what I mean? But I also know people, like Eminem was saying his songs, like people who really never really went through anything. And everyone's struggle is different, you know what I mean? I understand that, but I guess every struggle is different, so I guess I can't really say that either, you know what I mean? But I just feel like there's certain people that really don't know what it's like. I don't know what the struggle is like, you know what I mean?
Definitely. That's real. It is wild, though, to think like that, too. You know, that, yeah, you know, like some people can just, you know, snap.
Probably held it too long.
You know, their threshold is
A little bit.
the threshold's a lot lower.
I'm actually pretty blazed right now too, guys, so I was actually going to be like, oh, I'm good.
No worries. You know, it's wild, you know, because some people's threshold is just lower, you know, because they never been through those experiences and hadn't have to, you know, go through things that maybe some people have been through in different, you know, environments and stuff. But it's like, it is wild, you know, because, yeah, you know, life is hard, but it is wild how some people take it. You know, everybody takes it differently.
Oh, yeah, big time. well, a lot of these rich people you see, that's like, I'm not into politics, but a lot of them were growing into that, you know what I mean? They didn't have to, like, really earn their place there is where I'm getting at. You see a lot of rich people that it's just how it is, though, you know what I mean? That's just life for you. But then it's those people that, like, even people that I went to school with, you know what I mean? People, like, that I went to school with that are still living with their parents, for say, you know what I mean? Having kids, you know what I mean? But then I've been on my own since I was 17, you know what I mean? And so, but then it's like one of those things to where I think then I'm just being a hater, you know what I mean? To where I guess I'm hating on their life because it's easy, you know what I mean? When I should be thankful that I have my life the way it is because it made me who I am, to where some of these people wouldn't even be able to survive with half the stuff, you know what I mean? Because they've never been through anything. You're talking about no money in your bank account, but you don't really know what it's like to not have any money, you know what I mean? Or you have your mom and dad still paying your phone bill or something, you know what I mean? Like, when I don't have any money, I don't have any money, you know what I mean? And so, and you got people saying that they don't have money, but them not having money is still $300 in their bank account, you know what I mean? Is where I'm getting at. But yeah, I really been through some stuff. Like, had to stay in a hotel with my son for a little while, so it's just one of those things to where, I don't know, I guess I look at people's struggle differently at times. If you really struggle, then you can see it, you know what I mean? And you can see it in the person by how they carry themselves.
No, yeah. I've noticed that people who have been through the struggle, they're a little more humble.
Yeah,
you know?
Exactly what I mean by that. I'm more humble. You got other people that could do whatever they want, you know what I mean? Because they know that they're gonna get that free card, you know what I mean? Certain people can't do that because you don't have a family to back you up or support you in a sense, you know what I mean? People getting, there's people who get out of prison but have a family member to go to and stay with, you know what I mean? Which is great because you can really help that person out, but not if you don't have that getting out, you know what I mean? It makes it harder. I'm not saying that it can't be done because I've known a lot of people who do it, but you have to really want it. That's pretty much what it comes down to, you know what I mean? And not beat around the bush, I guess. Some people really need to be told you need to get your life straightened up rather than make excuses for them, you know what I mean? No matter how much you love them. Because I feel like that's where it comes from, is love is blinding, to where it could be a family member, you know what I mean? My brother Donnie, but no matter how much I love him, it's still going to get to a point to where, all right, bro, what are we going to do now? You know what I mean? Because we can't keep doing this forever. Especially if you have kids or a family to raise, you know what I mean? And then I feel like eventually people do learn, though. It could take someone 10 years, it could take someone 20, but you have to want it, you know what I mean? I guess, and sometimes you just get tired of it too after so long. Like Samuel. I just had a great conversation with him the other day. Same stuff that you were telling me about, and you could tell when someone's kind of over it and they just want to get their life together, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can see it. But it makes it hard, is where I'm getting at, when you don't have that support. And people wouldn't really understand that. The people, you're going to understand it if you've been through that, but there's people who have that family support, who have always had it, who would never know what it's like to not even to have one person would be good, you know what I mean? There's some people who don't even have that. You know what I mean? And so, just that one person that's willing to help you, you know what I mean? But yeah. But I don't know.
No, it's some real shit, man, you know? Yeah, and some people never make it because of that. You know, they don't have anybody.
That's why people, not to bring it up, but it's where you see people committing suicide, you know what I mean? It's little stuff like that too. You never know what people are going through, but that one person can change someone's life, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I don't even know, I guess I don't know why if we're talking about this or not, but I don't know, you know what I mean? But the reason why I'm bringing this up, I guess, is I've been watching all these little things, these little Snapchat, little murder shows. The girlfriend watches that shit every night. And so I've been getting into it lately, but it's sad to see like just certain stories, you know what I mean? Even if it's not your family, then you just feel it, you know what I mean? Little kids and all that stuff getting hurt, you know, stuff like that, you know what I mean? I don't know.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's little the murders caught in camera. They're interesting to watch. They really are. I don't know if you guys watch them, but they go through every little step, and they really break down the murder and. They find the suspect, and it's relieving at the end a lot of times, because then you see who did it, you know what I mean? But it's one of those things to where it's not like a false accusation. They know this person is the killer. Most times they're admitting it, you know what I mean? But I guess that's why I got into some of those topics, is because I've been watching a lot of that shit lately, and sometimes it's too much.
Well, you know, for real though, like, you know, being there for somebody really does go a long way. You know, like, it can, you know, alter people's lives. You know, because I I mean, I don't know how true it is. I was talking to one of my coworkers, and I mean, he's more into it than I am. But he was just talking about, what he was noticing with like it's real big right now because it's on Netflix. That Jeffrey Dahmer thing. He was saying that like essentially he did what he did because he was lonely. He wanted people to be with him. That's why he'd cuddle dead bodies and shit. But it's like maybe if he did have somebody who literally wanted to hang out with him or, just once a week or something, do a podcast, he would have maybe never went and killed people. It's, you don't know.
You never know though. But
yeah.
It's, some people are really just fucked up in the head.
He could have just been beyond repair.
But then it's one of those things to where, you just never know. But then also you got those people. The reason why I also brought that up is like, people are doing stupid things, but then they're like saying that they're just messed up in the head. Mm-hmm. You knew damn well what you were doing. You know what I mean?
Excuses for?
Oh yeah. Well, that's the excuse thing is like, oh, this person has a disorder, and I'm like, oh no, definitely not. Like, it's one of those things to where like, well, if he really had a disorder and it was that bad, he wouldn't be walking the streets anyways like that because he would have been having supervision to begin with. I mean, because they would know that to begin with ever since he was a kid. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It would grow with him. I don't know, and so yeah.
I agree. No, that is it's pitiful when people use that as when it's not a real thing and they use it as an excuse for their crimes and shit. It's a shame because there are people with those real issues.
I wonder where that even started. That had to have been one case.
It starts with.
It's probably like a lawyer or something.
Yeah,
he's probably like, what we can do.
He's like, I'm gonna say I'm crazy.
It starts with one person and it just kind of goes on through the world. You know what I mean?
That's precedent.
That's what I'm saying. So like, I wonder where.
And so quick question for both of you guys. So, how long have you guys known each other for?
So, about almost 12 years.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So then, when we were, I guess, kicking it, I never met you back in the day.
He knows Ronald though, yeah.
You know Ronald?
I think we might have met like maybe once.
Okay.
In passing or something.
So did you like know him from?
He's from the west side. Remember? Remember when I lived over there with Ronald?
Yeah.
Right across from West High School.
You were in the projects right there.
Around there, yeah.
Okay.
He
Cool.
still lives over there.
Yeah. I was living over there for a little while. They got all the new stuff now.
Mm-hmm.
I was actually living right on the Osage, right by the light rail, actually.
Nice.
Yeah, little townhomes.
And those new ones?
Not like the new ones. So you got the ones that are right next to the Longhorn Steakhouse, or
like the tower.
Buckhorn. So I was like right next door in the Buckhorn. So you got the new ones. So I was right on the corner, pretty much from right next to the rec center.
Okay,
and there's ones behind them that were newly built that they were building as we were living there. So I didn't know which ones you were talking about.
For sure.
We lived in the front ones, and they got the back ones. Those ones, they're both new, but the other ones are newer, like just from 2 years ago.
For sure.
They just finished building them.
Are they nice? Yeah.
Yeah, they're nice. They're all right, but the ones that they just built, the newer ones, I guess a couple years, so they're not new now, but it's expensive. To be honest with you, it's crazy because they're townhomes, so it's not like you have a yard or certain things. So they were just expensive in my eyes.
Is the one you have, is it the 3-level one? Because I've seen some of those before.
So I had, we had, it was just a 2-level, so boom and boom. But the 3-level one, the girlfriend's best friend lived in those ones, which are over to the right.
Were they more expensive too?
I don't know, to be honest with you. So some of them are, so they're not, so you could do Section 8, but they're tax credit. So they go based off of income.
Interesting.
So if you actually make too much money, you can't live there. And so it's one of those things where it's based off income. The other townhomes are individually owned, so they're not owned by a corporate or anything. But the other ones are owned by a corporate in a sense to where you could live there on Section 8. So you could have someone who doesn't do too good in life and is there to help people. So some of the people who moved out of the projects, because I tore them all down, some of them got first dibs and to live in some of the newer stuff that was built. So some of those people that were moving out of the projects probably end up getting on Section 8 or kept their Section 8 and ended up using those vouchers for the newer builds. So probably had to go move somewhere temporarily till those were built, and then they were able to move. So they are tax credit apartments, which means that like you're not paying for water, Excel, all that extra stuff that you would have to pay for like at a house or other apartments or a condo, because they get all that tax back at the end of the year, which is why it's tax credit. So, like in my house, I live in a house, $1,700, but that's just the rent. I also have the Excel. So the Excel is just the gas, and you still have not Xfinity. Why am I getting so confused?
The water.
Loveland Water, Excel, Loveland Water. I guess utility bill is all I was thinking of, but at a place like that, you don't have to pay all that extra, so you're still saving $200 or $300. And they go based off like you make $50,000 or $60,000 a year. So someone who makes $50,000 a year is going to pay less than the person that makes $60,000 a year, but they can live in the exact same kind of exact same style of townhome. If they're going to be the exact same, one could be paying a little less just because they make less money in life. So it's still fair, but that's what it comes down to.
Interesting.
If there's like a line saying if you make more than 80,000, then you pass that limit, which means you probably can't live there anymore. So then you wouldn't get approved.
Interesting.
So yeah.
Yeah, they're pretty nice though. I mean,
they are nice.
It's wild that the whole thing itself though, like tearing down the projects and moving everybody out and.
Yeah, I remember when that happened.
Well, everything is even in the east side, the west side. I haven't been on the north side in a while, but I feel like they took everything down. But where I get at with that too is you can make what is that saying to where like you can take the hood out or whatever. So it's always the same people that's always going to be around there, no matter how nice it is. I actually got into some people over there last time just because of smoking marijuana. So I smoke, but I don't do it around my kids. And it's one of those things to where just these youngsters, there's some of them were older actually in high school, but asked them politely not to like smoke around us. We were just playing catch, you know what I mean? But it's those things you're going to go through around there because they're not going to have that common courtesy. You know what I mean? To where even me in sense to where I grew up around that, I grew up in the projects, but I know that I'm not going to go sit there and smoke some weed next to a dad and his kids. You know what I mean? When you could go anywhere. And so it was like a little beef like that, but that's where I'm getting at is you're always going to have those same people around there. So even around here, you know what I mean? Like this is considered the hood, you know what I mean? In a sense, you know what I mean? They could break this apartment down, break everything down and rebuild everything, but it's still going to be the same people. You know what I mean? Which are going to trash it. You know what I mean? In a sense, because they don't respect it. You know what I mean? And that's just how it is. You know what I mean? With Section 8 and everything these days, they're so different nowadays just because of how people have, I guess, treated it. You know what I mean? And I only say that because I grew up off Section 8 my whole life with my mom. You know what I mean? And I feel like it's not in a rude way, but like people like her that mess it up for other people. You know what I mean? Because she was one of those people to take advantage of certain things. You know what I mean? Get kicked out over having parties. You know what I mean? And you're sitting here living in a nice house, paying $400 a month. You know what I mean? We got something good going, Mom. Get these motherfuckers out of here. I'm just but no, it's just the whole system is weird now, and I agree with it in a sense to where where I actually agree with the whole Section 8 thing and how they're cutting down because it gets people to do things for their own for themselves now. You know what I mean? I have a disabled daughter. I could get on Section 8 right now and live off the system and live off the government, but I choose not to do that. You know what I mean? Because it's just not the way I want to live. You know what I mean? I don't know why. It's just, I guess I want to do something different. And not saying that if I didn't have to, I guess I'm thankful enough to not have to go that route, I should say, because there was a time to where I would have really would have took that in a heartbeat. You know what I mean? And so I shouldn't say it like that because there's some people who really need that. And I guess I just wish people took better care of things at times with everything. You know what I mean? Because then it makes it harder for other people with apartments or renters. So I'm a renter, and I feel like it makes it hard. So say the renters before me were really shitty and made it horrible. They're going to have that same feeling with me as a renter because they had that experience with the previous renter. You know what I mean? But then if people were always just good and did their part, you know what I mean, it would just make things a lot easier. You know what I mean? Because I feel like the people at my place that lived there before, I feel like something happened to where they had to move out. You know what I mean? To where my renters my landlord, not my renters, but they're cool. But it is also kind of weird sometimes. You know what I mean? But I feel like you're always going to go through that with renting or apartments. And it's just so expensive. Sometimes you have no choice. You either stay here or go move, but then you don't want to have to go deal with all that. Sometimes it's easier just to stay put. You know what I mean? Moving is hard.
Yeah,
I actually hate it.
Especially right now, it's expensive.
How long have you been here for?
3 years.
3 years? And how long do you plan on being here for? A little while?
Probably. I'm trying to see what the market's like next year.
Oh, are you? Okay.
I'm trying to move. I really want to get out of here.
You don't like it or what?
It's not bad. I've been here for a while. I've gone through a lot here, so I just kind of want to get out of here and change my scene.
This would probably be hard, actually, especially after what just happened recently. This would probably be the hardest part for sure.
Yeah,
it's not too bad, to be honest with you.
No, it's a cool place. It's treated me well, you know. Like I'm able to give a lot of my family somewhere to stay.
Yeah,
you know, in a lot of the time, and I've helped a lot of people, and it helps me, you know, just be in my own space.
Yeah.
So
you're a busy person.
I
hit you up. You're just working.
Yeah, that's all I do. Yeah, I just work. I work and I do Tai Chi, and we do this podcast.
So
music.
Is this like a weekly thing that you guys do on this podcast, or what exactly is it?
Yeah, it's weekly.
Is it?
I mean, this past couple weeks we've kind of been doing it bi-weekly with how we're dropping it. But I mean, typically we do record it weekly. But yeah, it usually drops weekly every Thursday.
And you don't always have a guest, huh? Sometimes it's just you two?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay, cool. I actually looked at a lot of them. Saw the one with your dad. You guys interviewing him. Saw the one with Esteban. A couple other ones. There was 2 dudes that were sitting here.
Mm.
I don't know if they're people you guys rap with or not or what, but...
Probably like maybe onesie. There's a few couples.
Yeah. No, I was looking at it because I'm like, what do these people talk about? What are they talking about in their podcast? And it's just like any podcast, because most of them are just conversations. It's not really a certain topic. You know what I mean?
No, yeah, exactly.
And all I have is a Snapchat, so I actually will go through. All those podcasts are big on Snapchat now, because I don't do social media, so I don't have Facebook. I don't have what is that shit? TikTok. I don't have Instagram. I just have Snapchat.
Okay.
And so, but a lot of it's on Snapchat, so I see what everybody else sees too, because like Snapchat is kind of getting big like TikTok now. So like all these big YouTubers are not only just posting their stuff on YouTube, the same video that you can find on YouTube a lot of times, you're gonna find a video clip on Snapchat somewhere sometimes, and you just scrolling through. You could subscribe on Snapchat, and I'm not one of those people who subscribe. So I call them celebrity chasers. I'm not a celebrity chaser. Most of the people I'm subscribing to are actually random people in the world who I just think are funny. So it could be a person that's not even famous at all. You know what I mean? But I like hit their videos. You know what I mean? Little stuff like that.
That's actually really cool.
I don't know. It's just a Snapchat thing. That's really all I do. So when I'm bored, look on Snapchat. You can just scroll through. I don't know. It's kind of fun sometimes, to be honest with you. But I try to stay off all that stuff as much as I can, to be honest with you.
Yeah. I just use it for the promotion, and then, you know, to communicate with family and certain people.
Business.
Yeah.
Facebook would be good if I had a business. I'd probably, or even a podcast like you guys, I would have all that.
Yeah.
But I guess it was more in the past with certain people, especially with my daughter in the past. I guess certain people I didn't want to talk to. And it was like even random people, like we're talking like hundreds. So, so my daughter is disabled. I'm not going to get into all that, but it got into a thing to where certain things happened. But then I just had a lot of people just commenting, hitting me up, saying, apologizing, and they were all on my side. But it was just too much after a while. But random people is where I'm getting at, like people from other states that I didn't even know, and so I'm like, this is too much. But it was my fault for making it so public. Because I made it very public and had a GoFundMe and everything, you know what I mean? So it was my fault, and that's probably the only thing I regret. I don't know if you remember everything, but
I do.
That's the only thing I regret, is making it public, to be honest with you. Yeah. And not in a way, but now everyone, like certain people I grew up with or went to school with, and it's not even in that sense, because I made it public for a reason at the time, but I guess after I thought about it a little bit more, I wish I would have did things a little differently, in a sense. Yeah.
No, I could feel that. Yeah.
I guess focused on more of the important things. You know what I mean? But yeah.
Well, you know, we live and we learn. You know, that's the important thing.
Yeah.
That we learn from it.
It wasn't anything bad, I guess. I just if you're gonna care, when someone really cares, but you can't. I feel like you can't really care for someone if you don't really know them. I guess that's what it came down to me, as too many fake people pretending like they cared, but didn't care, and then I guess it was more in a sense like, I only have very few people in my life, like literally like very, very few. And so I feel like Facebook and all those it's like it's good for people who have long distance friendships. People, I could be close to someone and then he could move out of state. You know what I mean? So people use it for stuff like that. But since I don't have a whole long list of friends, my whole 7 friends, I don't really need a Facebook. You know what I mean?
No doubt.
So we can just call each other.
Well, literally, you know what I mean? But I feel like in the past, that's what I use Facebook for, is like just talking to people, this and that. But even like people I didn't even know. I remember, if you think about it, I had probably half the people on I was actually one of the very few. There were a few people I had on my Facebook probably as friends that I didn't even know. You know what I mean? People would send you a request. You're just going to accept it and just not even think whatever of it. But you could go to your friends list and there's probably going to be only a handful of people that you actually really know. You know what I mean? And so, yeah. And I haven't started a new one up. It's been 5 years now. And honestly, I used to be on Facebook every day. And since I've taken it away, I don't miss it at all. I really don't. So, yeah.
You're not missing nothing.
Oh, I know.
It's the same shit.
Well, think of it like this. So the only time I ever got on Facebook, same as Snapchat. I could delete Snapchat. It wouldn't be anything. It's only when you're bored. The only time, like, you're not going to sit there and get on Facebook when you're busy and you're doing something. The only time you're going to get on there and do that is when you're bored. It's just to pass time by. You know what I mean? But then that gets so boring because all you're sitting there doing is looking at other people's lives.
I know.
Same thing with Snapchat. I'm not going to get wrong. So I guess I'm being kind of hypocrite. But I guess I think of Snapchat in a different sense, in a sense to where people could just be posting, like, you could just be watching like a stupid funny video clip, you know what I mean? Not literally watching like someone posting a status saying good morning for the day, and it's cool, you know what I mean? But then I guess it's just different, you know what I mean? Even on Snapchat, you'll see like I feel like it gets boring after a while to where you'll go through your friends' little Snapchat, you'll see, you know what I mean? But like I stopped doing it because my girlfriend says this. I was one of these people to where you post pictures of your kids, you know what I mean? But some of them could just be boring, but it's your kid, so you think it's cute, you think it's amazing, but other people aren't going to think that way. They don't have the same love for your kid.
Unless it's like your family or certain people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So then you start looking at, and I started looking at other people's like Snapchats, and I'm like, why would they post that? Stupid. But then I catch myself, like, Derrek, you're stupid.
I could never figure out the Snapchat thing because I don't know. I just never feel like, oh, I'm going to post this on Snapchat. And like, everybody's always posting stuff. And I'm like, man, I should post stuff on Snapchat or something.
Well, I see you sometimes. And
sometimes.
Honestly, you're funny. You be posting stuff.
I know.
You're a character. And, it's just funny because I guess we haven't kicked it in a while. So I remember your personality, but then at times it's like, you haven't changed, but you're yourself. You know what I mean? You're definitely your own person. But I like it. So that's cool.
Now he started. You hear the guy?
No, he saw them walk in, and he wasn't doing that last time. Actually, when I was here, he was pretty chill.
Yeah,
he wants to. He probably wants to be let out, huh?
Yeah, he's just ignoring him. I think he's alright right now.
I was just going to kick it on that bench and finish my Derrek's.
Oh, I mean, if you want.
I actually need to. I want to listen to some of your stuff. I actually never heard a little. I will look you up in a little bit. Well, probably after this. But
I mean, I can spit something quick if you like.
Yeah. I'd be down with that. Honestly, I'm next.
This one,
next.
it's like some older stuff from like LD.
Yeah.
It's all perspective, but my mind stays collective. I know my directive to achieve my objective, to save the mass mindset from becoming defective. We're the ones keeping it protected. The shield we've erected is highly respected. So when you send that whack shit, it gets deflected. You'll be dissected. When I show up on the spot, they'll be dissected. Learn respect, kid. Don't be reckless and expect us not to react. We counteract your attack to enact exact impact. And that's my verbal contract, cause I'm for the truth, both relative and absolute. I am quite astute when it comes to you brutes who can't compute and pollute my pursuit to institute the proper route for all who want a better life and get it right through education in the path that is truly bright. So I proceed to ignite the revolution. The solution is not a substitution, but a contribution to stop retribution through confusion and false illusions set forth by biased institutions. Know your facts. Litigate the alphatismo is the truest.
That was tight.
I
like it a lot. That's cool.
That was a classic one right there.
Oh yeah, is that one of your top ones?
I like it. Yeah, it's one of the older ones. We don't do it so much anymore. It's from our old group.
Okay, cool. You guys, what was you guys' old group called?
LD. It was it's It's Liturgy Diaphotismo. It's Greek for lyrical enlightenment.
Was it just you two, or was there more people involved?
It was me, him, our homeboy Harrison, and Matt. And then Adam joined for a little while, and then after that, we kind of all broke up.
Okay. Was the breakup, was it all mutual, or was it more of
It was just the natural, we just kind of didn't see each other so much, and
okay, kind of everyone has their own life.
Yeah, got busy.
Then now it's just me and Isaac. We do our own thing. Some of our other friends, they still do their own thing too.
Cool. You guys still see them at like the shows and everything every once in a while?
Yeah, here and there.
Cool. I'm actually looking forward to your guys' next show. So I will definitely be buying a couple tickets.
All right,
and bring my older son because he wants to go to it.
Nice.
Yeah, his older son's name's Angelo.
Yeah, same name as his.
Sweet.
I thought that was so funny. Yeah. I'm like, hey, what's your name? He goes, Angelo. I was like,
well, it's funny because everyone calls you Lo, and I know that from back in the day, but I feel like, me personally, I'll probably still call you Angelo because I'm just so used to that. And even
everybody in my family calls me Angelo.
Okay, cool.
Unless Samuel calls me Lo.
Yeah. Well, he's the one who gave you that name, so
wasn't he? I don't think. Yeah, Joey still calls me Angelo.
Cool. So I'm not the only one.
No, yeah, my dad calls me Angelo too. My grandma, everybody, pretty much. But
yeah, it was good seeing your dad. Actually, I was surprised. I didn't think he was going to remember me at first because he hasn't seen me since I was in third grade. Actually. Yeah. Third grade. I was in Bishop Elementary.
But you look the same.
I know I do. Ever since I was a kid, I do.
Yeah,
you're right.
Straight up, you look the same.
It's so funny because I do. I've actually seen people from when I was in elementary, when I was back where I used to live. Like someone drove by and they're like, Derrek. But this was like 5 years later. So I'm like, I haven't matured at all. But this was 10 years ago to where I was 15 at the time. So I went from 11 to 15. But I guess from 11 to 15... I know it's only 3 years in between, or 4 years, but I didn't change at all, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And so now I got a little bit of this and that, you know what I mean? But I like to keep it because I've actually tried to shave, and I don't like the way I look without the facial hair, to be honest with you. If I do shave, I'll do the sides, but I always keep this little goatee thing going. Mm-hmm. Yeah, just looks better on me.
I know, I need to trim my shit. My shit's all wild right now.
You're just chilling, man.
Yeah, straight up though.
I think it's like that. I used to have way more, so mine was more like I just kind of let it go. You know what I mean? Then I would like comb it, but I'd still trim it. You know what I mean? I'd do like a number 11. Now I'm actually going a little shorter and shorter on the sides. Just kind of doing a little different look, to be honest with you. But see what works best.
Yeah, I've actually just started growing myself.
Did you?
Usually I used to have it like, just clean and trimmed and bald for the longest. But I'm starting to.
The girls love it. You know what I mean? Not in a weird way, but it's even on this, like, more girls do like the facial hair. You know what I mean? They're saying, you know what I mean? And I personally think I look better. I could shave this all off, and yes, I would look younger, but it's just other stuff. You know what I mean? I guess it makes you look more manly. You know what I mean?
No doubt.
Something like that.
Something like that.
I must look manly as fuck.
Yeah. Like that guy over there. Manly as fuck.
For real. A lot of our family started getting facial hair real young.
I was the one that didn't, though.
I know, I remember
funny.
that.
Well, you know what's funny, though? It's because, like, we all have different dads and shit, you know what I mean? So, like, Samuel and all their dad and Steven's dad and all them, they're, like, built with that, you know what I mean?
Yep.
My dad, whoever, so my mom thinks it's, so it could be either Sam Gallegos or someone named Daniel, I guess, you know what I mean? So, do you remember Sam?
Yeah, I know Sam.
He was around for a little while.
I know Sam.
They say he could be, but we don't know for sure. But that side of the family is actually, they're Spanish. They're not even, they're not Mexican. They're actually Spanish. Oh, are you being serious?
Yeah.
Look.
Sam Gallegos? You're talking about?
Yeah. Your mom's boyfriend. No.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's his name.
That's so crazy. That would honestly, I don't bring it up, but I would not be good if we ran into each other.
Why?
We got into it big time on the phone last time. He was really running his mouth, and like me and Ans were gonna pop off and go over there, and his what was his name? One of the nephews over there called us and just tried to keep it cool because things would have just got out of hand, you know what I mean, with certain things. And I'm glad we didn't do anything, but it got to the point to where he was just saying a lot of things about my mom, and it's certain things that like I know, but then you also better have like know your place, you know what I mean? It's kind of what it came down to where I already know all this stuff. I'm not stupid, man. I mean, I didn't get taken away from my mom at 11 for nothing. I know what's going on. You know what I mean? I've been knowing this shit ever since me and Steven, before we even went to foster care. So we would talk about it. We knew we were gonna get taken away. It was just a matter of time. We were actually surprised that it didn't happen sooner. We talked about it even as kids. I'm actually go ahead and pass it to him. You pass it to me, but I'm good on it.
You good?
Yeah.
Okay, wait, I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
It's just been kind of going this way.
That's for the table. We got one.
Oh,
okay.
right on, guys. But yeah, and I wouldn't even say anything. Honestly, I've matured. That was 10 years ago. You know what I mean? At the time, to where if it has to go down, it has to go down. But now I actually have too much to lose, to where I wouldn't even bother with that, and not in a way to where I think I'm better. But I'm way past that. You know what I mean? And I'm way past him. You know what I mean? He's not even worth my time. You're talking about. Like, I'm not going to get into all that, you know what I mean? If he is my dad, you know what I mean? He's talking about someone that is almost 50 years old and, like, hasn't done shit, you know what I mean? Like, and I'm not even going to get into all that, but yeah, he's not someone I would want to see, to be honest with you. Yeah. You didn't know that, huh?
No, I've heard stories, but I don't really. Yeah, I don't know the whole background.
Yeah. And honestly, we were always close. I mean, his mom, like, I guess you could say my grandma and everything. I mean, I was actually always really close to them for a little while, but it's the drugs that get people that get to that. So when my dad, Sam, when he was doing all that shit, I guess I'll take it. He was all high at the time and drunk, talking to me on the phone. So that's just what it does to you, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no doubt.
I don't even think he meant half the shit, because me and him were always, I feel like he's always respected me in that sense, but now I feel like he would be nervous just to see me. I was a kid, you know what I mean, at the time. I'm 29 years old now. I'm almost 30, so it's just a big difference, you know what I mean?
No doubt. It's interesting.
We have crickets in the back
Yes.
that say low battery.
Oh, wow, too. Low
battery.
Look, I literally just turned all the sounds off of my phone, and then all of a sudden my speaker goes fucking low battery.
It's loud.
Pointless.
Did you use one of these?
No, I haven't rolled it yet. You want me to roll one?
Oh yeah, you could do whatever. I was just wondering,
Okay.
because I actually, you guys might think this is funny, so I have been smoking for years, but I don't know how to roll. I mean, I could try it, but they're not going to come out good. So
Like joints or
I
blunts?
think-
joints or blunts, I can't get that rolling technique.
We tried to roll together. That's who I tried to learn how to roll with you.
I sucked.
I remember. I
remember us
sucked
just
too.
breaking it apart. We're like, fuck this.
Yeah, the blunt broke in half, and I was like, "Oh, fuck this."
Well, I think I remember I think I messed the wrap up too, to where I got to the point to where, I don't know, we were one of those people, man. We used a pop can if we had to. You know what
Yeah, I know, for real though. I still do that shit, bro.
Do what you gotta do.
Back in high school, it was funny. So you'd have I went to Eagle Crest High School, but they had a little orange juice, and you pull off the little aluminum lid off the orange juice, you know what I mean? You make a small little pipe, you know what I mean? Just to go smoke on lunch break.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we did.
But
that's the worst
you got
thing,
expelled though, right?
No, not for that.
Oh, no.
When I got, so this is going to be stupid. I guess it's...
Yeah, tell that story. This shit's funny.
So, really? So, I didn't get expelled, I guess. I got suspended for a couple weeks, and it sucked because I was actually in college at the time. I was a senior, so I was going half to school and half to college. So I was at Pickens Technical College for my CNA at the time. I got caught having sex on school grounds. Is that what you're talking about?
No.
That's the only time I got suspended, or the only time I could think about.
Wasn't it at Finest?
Oh, that's what you're talking about.
Yeah.
That one. So that sucked, bro, because that was my second chance right there. So I see what he's mean. I'm sorry. So that was the first time. It was a suspension at the Eagle Crest with the whole sex on school grounds. It wasn't even like that, but I got in trouble for that with PDA. You know what I mean? And someone must have saw us walk back there, and the security guard rolls up on us, and it was that. You know what I mean? And at that passed by quick. But at the Colorado's Finest, so that sucked, bro. And I think no, you're good. And I guess I didn't want to. I guess I'm not saying anything too bad for YouTube or anything. You know what I mean? But people get in trouble for that shit all the time. You know what I mean? I wasn't the only one. But for the Colorado's Finest, that sucked, to be honest with you, because Esteban even said something to me. He said, let's just go home for the day. We'll come back tomorrow. And we could have. And they caught me. So I had weed. I had a couple other things in my backpack. They were moon pods. So it's actually a little...
Dude, that was a crazy one. That was a crazy one.
I would never do it again, actually. So it's certain things to where I was actually taking it wrong. It's a drug, so got it for someone. But I was dumb. I wasn't even thinking at the time. I didn't use my own brain. You know what I mean? You could call me a follower, I guess. You know what I mean? Following after someone else. But so I got I've had cousins. Even my cousin David got mad at me because he tried it and he almost died from it. But you're supposed to boil it and make like a tea out of it, but it's a hallucinogen. But I just ate the seeds, and it's like earwax, so it's like 100% worse. But like I was really hallucinating on that shit. But where I got at with that is they caught that in my back, but with a couple other things and just a pipe, really. But what was funny about that is you'd be surprised, because I feel like the principal actually smoked it. She goes, she had the nerve to be like, "Oh, this is a pretty pipe." She said this was a pretty pipe, put it in her dresser and everything, said I couldn't have it back, but I got expelled from that school. And what sucked about that is so I had my GED, I didn't get my actual diploma. And what sucks about that is I didn't drop out, so I went the full 12 years and didn't pass my English class, actually, and my algebra class, just because so I got emancipated out of foster care at 17, and this is not any excuse, but so I ended up getting my own apartment, but I wasn't graduated yet. And so what it came down to is, like, in foster care, you don't have, like, that freedom, you know what I mean? So it's different. To where I lived in, like, a halfway house for, like, a good 3 years, so it wasn't, like, a halfway house. But when you come home from school, we only got 2 hours out every day. To where we'd go to the library, do our thing, and go back home, you know what I mean? But then only certain people, you have to be doing somewhat good to get emancipated out of foster care. So they could keep you until you're 21. In order to get emancipated out of foster care, you have to have a job, be going to school, and also have a certain amount of money saved up. So pretty much letting them know you can get on your own. You can take care of yourself in a sense, and you also have to be holding a job for a certain amount of time. So there's certain protocols to it. So I got emancipated at 17, which means like I ended up actually moving into it was my GAL, so the guardian ad litem, which is like your lawyer if you're a foster child. So I ended up moving in with two of her best friends. Renting out a room for $350, but where I'm getting at with that is, I was still going to school, but it was, it kind of fucked me up in a sense, you know what I mean, to where, I guess maybe I would have probably been more focused if, I was still at that group home and not getting emancipated until I graduated, I guess, but then getting out and doing all that, I was also getting kicked out in a sense, but then instead of like trying to go to a different placement, I was on the urge of just getting out and getting my own place, and my lawyer was helping me, my JL, saying he could do this and pretty much vouching for me. And so got out on my own, and I've just been kind of going ever since. And so got my GED, but the Colorado's Finest, that was my second chance to get my diploma. So that it was a bummer, because it was something I wanted only in a sense to where you went the whole 12 years. It's not like you dropped out in 9th or 10th grade and decided to do this. You had it planned to get your diploma to begin with. What the fuck are you doing, Derrek? And so it's no excuse at that time. I guess the only thing I could say is I was more focused on my relationship than anything. And that's what I feel like what really, not in a sense, but like I say, if I didn't focus on, I guess, not even girls, it was a girl so much, I could have focused on, I guess, what's most important, because that was important, but most important at that time, and kind of grew, you know what I mean? Instead of want to get out of high school and moving with each other right away and do all this stuff you weren't able to do in high school because now you guys can, you know what I mean? Shit like that. Trying to grow up faster than what you're ready for, I guess. And then that was that, you know what I mean? So, yeah, Angelo, that sucked, and I actually totally forgot about that. That school's not even there no more. I try to drive by there, and I'm like, what happened to it? It's like totally different now.
Yeah, it's over, I think. You know what the Golden Nugget is?
No.
The apartments.
So they moved it?
Yeah, they moved it. They moved it over like where Inglewood Middle School used to be.
So I think I know where you're getting at too, Angela, with the Colorado's Finest. You're talking about that funny story. So there was something funny that happened. So
I swear it was like...
I already know what you're talking about. So this is funny. This is what really happened. So I tried to really pretend like it was someone else is what it came down to. So like I knew what was going on as soon as so they were already waiting outside for us as we were walking up. That's when Esteban was like, let's just turn around and go back home. We'll come back tomorrow, because then they are not just going to run after you, and they can't do anything the next day. You know what I mean? They're only going to try and do something that day, and they can smell it too. So I think he actually did turn around, I think, or no, he went with me. No, well, he didn't get. I was the only one who got in trouble because I was the only one who had it on me. You know what I mean? So I was the only one who got caught with stuff in my backpack, which is why I got in trouble. I was stupid that day, and I was naive, because they even put on the intercom We've been hearing certain people, students smoking. Don't be doing that because you will be kicked out that same day. I'm an idiot. That same exact day, we went and did it on lunch break because I'm over here thinking like, oh, it is what it is. Just be smart, guys. They're not going to know anything. It's how you carry yourself and this and that. But they're already waiting outside for us. In a sense, like I felt like someone snitched on us because how are they already waiting outside to where like unless they're just doing this just to see if they smell it for anyone walking inside, which could have been. But as we walked into school, they're like, "Oh yeah, I did a little stupid comment." I was like, "Y'all are stupid." Whoever that was, I did something like that in a sense, like talking about myself, but hoping that I don't even know. I guess I was just trying to be funny and stupid at the same time. So I did a little smart thing, but I already knew I was gonna get caught, and then that was that. You know what I mean? But that's what it came down to. It was just a pipe, probably like a little bit of weed, and then. It was a stupid moon podge, which this person in their yard is right next to the school. They had them.
I know, I remember that.
And so we just picked them off, and I'm like, I'm gonna throw these in my backpack, and $20 a pop. I just I got them from this weird. I started getting from this weird guy. And he didn't even properly teach me how to use them. Like, it was weird. Do you remember, like, how I was? Like, because I remember in certain ways, but even the next day how I was throwing up, like, just nothing but acid. In a sense to where it felt like you were dying to where, like, you were poisoned. So it is like a poison. And I kind of poisoned myself. Because that's why you're supposed to boil it first. Take out all that bad shit. You're supposed to make some type of, like, tea out of it and drink it. As I've done more research on it.
And then it's like a hallucinogen still?
Well, yeah, that's what it's supposed to do. So it's going to give you the same effect on how you I guess take it, but it's dependent on if it's going to be harmful to your body or not. Since it's like a plant, and I'm literally breaking it open and just eating the seeds on the inside. That can't be good. I mean, I remember that shit, and as I think about it, because I stopped thinking about it for so long, but when I thought about the taste, I would get the chills in my body. I'm kind of getting it now because it was like so. Everybody knows what earwax tastes like. It was like that, but 50 times worse. Like, it was just gross, you know what I mean? So for a long time, like a good year afterwards, anytime I thought about it, I would get like this weird thing in the back of my throat, like I just would never do it again, you know what I mean?
Would you like chew it or you just straight swallow it?
Chew it. That's why it was the main thing. If you want to really feel it, but you could swallow it and it's probably going to hit you slowly as it slowly dissolves. But we were like chewing it, and it was one of the things to where I was like trying to go to school at midnight and shit, backpacks, fully dressed, and I like remember it, but then I also remember like really like having like it's hard to explain because like I was really hallucinating, but I also remember like afterwards like I remember like talking to my cousin, but I guess he wasn't there that night. I remember like even now, but I'm like I could have swore I was just talking to Eric, and I remember Angelo or Samuel, like Eric hasn't been here all night, but like, and then there was one time we were with Samuel at Randy's house. I know, down. I was like, damn, where did we get all this furniture from?
That shit was fun.
We didn't have shit in our house, and their house is packed, nice dishes, and I'm like, damn, where did we get all this shit from, guys? We're doing good. But we didn't have shit, no couches, nothing. So like, at our place, we just moved into our apartment, me and Samuel, and so I remember, and Samuel's like, bro, do you know where we are? And I was like, really? I'm like, bro, are you being serious? And like, I still remember this, so I could tell the story. But at the time, it wasn't like I was faking it. Like I really.
I remember how dead serious he was. He was like.
But it's weird how I still remember. Even some people, if they do a drug, they can't remember or they don't really know. Like I remember everything.
Yeah.
But I don't know why I like thought that.
That's wild.
I remember everything, bro, and I did it twice. Like so, I'm like the first time, and at both times I woke up like throwing up crazy. Homie Esteban, he actually ended up going to the hospital one night, and he ended up telling me he wanted to go home. I remember everything, and it got bad to where it wasn't anything bad, but like we were at some people's house, and he was like cracking up about it, but things were like gonna get like deadly actually, to where he was like hallucinating that bad, to where he thought these people were like gonna do something to us. I'm like, Esteban, we're good, bro. And there was a knife right here. He was like, bro, there's a knife right there. That's how it was going down. I'm like, Esteban, you're good, calm down, bro. And it was like two dudes that like I didn't really know them, but if it came, I was watching, you know what I mean? So I'm like, if it comes down, bro, like I got us, I promise you. I'm like, if it has to go down that way, but let's wait. And like, and we went to school with these dudes, so it was one of those things to where I'm like, they're not like that, but he was just tripping, really, you know what I mean? But it wasn't even him. We ended up going back to my house, really, and then walking down the street, and then that's when the cops pulled us over, and he kept trying to stand up. They kept trying to sit him down, and he didn't get in trouble. He didn't get arrested or anything. They actually just took him to the hospital to get checked on. They actually let me go that day. I ended up walking back home, but I was so fucked up, I remember.
Wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad I never took those moon pods. I seen that shit. Yeah, I seen it put a lot of people in the hospital.
Well, even at that time, you were hardly even smoking weed at the time because, I mean, I would do it with
Well,
you.
I was
Samuel
getting in
didn't-
trouble.
Samuel didn't like to smoke with you because you were the young brother.
I know,
still.
and I kept getting in
I had
trouble.
to keep it from him at times where if I smoked it through at times to where, I remember one time, like, let's just not tell Samuel because there were times where he told me he didn't want me smoking with you at that time. He wanted you to get older, you know what I mean? Now you're able to make your own choices, of course, but...
Yeah, I remember that shit. I kept getting in trouble too, so he's like, "Nah, you can't smoke." Remember, I got caught like twice smoking.
Yeah, he was trying to make like a privilege.
Yeah,
I gotta earn this shit.
just straight up.
All right.
Oh shit! I'm sorry. No, that shit was cool though. I worked at McDonald's at that time.
Oh yeah.
Honestly, I used to love working at McDonald's. Did you guys ever work at McDonald's at all? You never did, huh?
No, I've worked at Jimmy John's.
Oh, did
That's
you?
the only fast food I've done.
Okay. And you've been at King Soopers for what? How long now? 5 years?
Almost
Damn.
4.5.
Oh, that's
So-
cool. And didn't you say that they offered you like the manager position, but you didn't take it?
Yeah, I'm cool on all that. Yeah,
You're chilling, huh?
I could become manager if I ever wanted to at any
Oh.
time. I'm sure, but
I believe it.
nah, yeah, it's too much responsibility. Cody.
That would be a lot of responsibility. Though.
Yeah.
They probably get paid pretty good, don't they?
Well, they get paid all right. I mean, I just don't want the stress.
Yeah.
You know,
And
I
then
don't
you're
want
talking
that
about the
stress.
pharmacist thing, but do you know how much schooling that is?
I don't know.
You don't know? I don't either. I was just wondering.
I think it's like 4 years.
Is it?
I think so. Yeah.
I was at the pharmacy the other day picking up my daughter's medicine, and so I was like, because I was thinking about that for a little while too, and then as I saw yours and Esteban's podcast, and I saw you talking about it, I'm like, oh, he's talking about it too, because I've been thinking about that for a while now.
Yeah.
Just because they were saying since so I'm my daughter's parent, so so I have my CNA license. I get paid to take care of my daughter, which is nice. So I'm a caregiver. That's pretty much what I call it. I mean, I do have a regular job. I've been in construction for 7 years now, but I actually haven't been able to work. So I'm a caregiver. But what I was getting at with that is, what was I about to say? What were we talking about right before that, Angelo?
Pharmacist.
Oh yeah, sorry, the pharmacist. Is I was at the pharmacy, and I guess they were saying I could probably get. So right now, I get 8 hours a day for her, but like there's certain things that aren't a part of that, like such as giving her medicine, to where a nurse or someone could get paid extra money just because they have to deliver medicine. But I can't get that because I don't have the license for it, and also I'm her parent. But if I was to go to school and get that extra license for it, that's also something that they could give me credit for. So maybe instead of 8 hours a day, I may get bumped up to 9, to where I may get an extra hour a day for her. You know what I mean? Because of me going to school for that extra license, and for say, just like anybody who goes to school for anything. You know what I mean? But that's why I was thinking about it. Is that's what pharmacists do? Is they do the medicine. So if I was to do that, might as well do that too. You know what I mean? But I guess there's the one of the kids looked very young, but I'm like, oh, he's not a pharmacist. So I'm over here thinking like everyone back there is a pharmacist, but it's just the one person, the person in the white coat, huh? Like the main person.
Yeah.
So that's what you were talking about, huh?
That's the main. There's one main person, and then there's like workers and stuff. But
and so that's where I was getting confused, I guess, because I was also thinking that some of the main workers that they were considered pharmacists, but they're not actually. It's
yeah, I don't even think they
other
really
person.
do much with the
There's
medicine.
I see. It's probably the actual pharmacist, huh?
Yeah,
I see. They
like,
probably have to do something or have to have something to work there. I don't know. Have to have something, you know what I mean? But I was looking at that the other day. And I was actually going to ask them, I guess, what do they do? Where do they go to school at? What do you have to do to get here? You know what I mean? But yeah, I've been thinking about it too. You said
that's
like
one of the better positions in King Supers. They say.
You said like $130,000 a year, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm like, what?
Well, that's why I asked if how much schooling, because I'm like, they probably have to go to school for a little while. You know what I mean? Because I feel like it would take some time. I'm good, brother. Thank you, though.
Thank you. It's your weed.
Man.
That should taste really good.
It
Yeah,
does
it
actually.
does.
It's not too bad, huh?
Not like in a bad way, but like when I tasted, like initially, like it reminded me of like hairspray.
Oh, did it?
Hairspray.
Yeah. So, which one was that one?
Is this
Oh,
one?
that's the white 99.
The white 99.
I think it was maybe the flavor of the wrap, though. What's the flavor of the wrap?
Oh, yeah.
strawberry fields.
So what's funny about that too is, so I go to Green Tree. It's out in Berthoud. So I usually get like an ounce for $100. I got a better deal at this place. So I was only just going to go there and grab an eighth because I didn't want to waste money, you know what I mean? I'm like, I'll go because I'm a member at this other place where I get the 10% off the $100 ounce. But if you're not a member there, it's like $125. So, and then every month they discount you $25, so you can use that whenever you want. But when I went there, I'm like, oh shit, I spent less money there than I would at my regular place I go to. So, and I got the same amount of weed, if not a little bit more. You know what I mean? Not saying it's probably better or not. Who knows? Because I do like the place I go to. This place was a little different. I guess they don't let you. He was letting me smell it, but they do have rules. At my place, it's different with the COVID. They've kind of changed out there, but I feel like it's a little different down north. You know what I mean? Than I guess down here for dispensaries, they have to follow I guess different rules and guidelines when it comes to. They don't let you smell it no more in certain things. You know what I mean?
No, I know. Yeah, you can't even touch it.
Yeah, but at the place out in where I go, they do. You can't touch it, but they have no problem going like that and letting you smell it. But out here, he was letting me, but he said only because I was on the med side, on the rec side, they don't even allow that. But and that's cool. But out there, it's kind of nice that they don't deal with all that extra bullshit. You know what I mean? Because I like to smell my weed. I actually go based more off of, I guess, more off the smell than. I know you said the percentage. So the percentage is, I guess I don't want something that's too low, but I guess I would probably go based off I like that skunky smell. And most of those will have 20, 22, 23%, but even if it's like a good smelling weed and it's only at 20 and another one's at 23, but I don't like the smell of it, I'll probably go with the better smelling one. I just like that skunky smell.
No doubt.
Yeah, I like all the smells, really. But I like it when it's strong.
Well, like so, this shit right here, I feel like it's like grape drink, but I didn't feel like it's like. And I'll be honest with you guys, I don't think it has much of a smell to it.
It's kind of mute, yeah.
Yeah.
This one is a little stronger.
Is it? That's the White 99, and that's the sativa one. So I feel like that's where I'm getting at. Is the only reason why I chose this one is because it was this is actually they said it was popcorn nugs. So all the others are popcorn, but those are some good ass popcorn nugs. He even had to check because he thought he was wrong, so he's like, it's coming in at 70. He's like, do you want it? I'm like, shit, I don't know how to think about it. But that's the only reason why I chose this one is because this is a whole ounce for $70 right here.
Oh, yeah.
And it's pretty decent, you know what I mean? I mean, if you ask me.
Which one did you roll? That one or?
The White 99.
Oh, sorry.
I want to see this again.
I'll even leave some here for you, Angelo, because, I mean, I don't even smoke like that. I mean, I do, but I'll leave it in this container. Just fill that shit up for you.
I think it smells good.
Do you? See, I feel like it just doesn't have a smell to it, so that's, I want that orangey, skunky smell, I guess, or even that lemony smell.
Yeah, the lemony smell.
Yeah, I do like that lemon smell.
I miss the diesel smells.
I miss that old diesel.
Yeah.
That Durban Poison, or even some of that Golden Goat sometimes. I feel like nowadays, I'll be honest with you, so like back in the day when we would get Golden Goat, that used to be like the top strain. When I get Golden Goat these days, I actually don't feel like it's as good sometimes, or even the Durban Poison, because that was my two top strains.
The Durban Poison is not the same.
Yeah, it's not. Well, they're mixing it with everything else now. It's like at my place I go to, it's like 92 Durban OG. You know what I mean? So they're mixing it with another strain, which I feel like which is okay. You know what I mean? But Durban used to be just good by itself. You know what I mean?
That was my
honestly,
favorite
top
kind.
sativa, and so I'm gonna say I don't like to fall asleep, but I feel like some sativas will do that to me too. Actually, will put me down. I try to stay away from the indica, but this one right here is actually not the one we're smoking because he did that one, but this one's an indica. They were saying.
Okay.
Yeah. So you're gonna be slumping.
Slumped. Snap. Oh
Yeah,
shit.
that's your buddy right there. I feel already blazed, to be honest with you.
Well, man, this has been great. I really appreciate you coming through, man.
Oh yeah, it was my pleasure coming through. I mean, I wasn't like all nervous, but I guess like a little bit I was. I'm like, what's gonna happen? But I'm not usually like.
Pretty chill though, huh?
Oh yeah, it was chill. This is my first time doing this. I was happy you guys chose me. So yeah, thank you guys.
Yeah,
and then you brought it up at the
They made
little
it
get
sound like
together.
Pokemon.
Well, he brought it up.
Happy
at the
you
get
chose
together.
me.
I know. he brought it up at the get together, and then you brought it up over when we were texting, and I'm like, oh yeah, hell yeah. And you're like, well, let me get with my partner. I'm like, sounds good, man. That's it.
Yeah, thanks for coming through, cousin.
Oh yeah,
I love you.
I love you too, man. Thank you. I'm glad that Joey was here too. I'm gonna kick it with you guys for a little bit after this is all done. Chill out for a little bit.
Heck yeah.
Grab my kids and go drive back home.
Oh, yeah.
It's nice though. This is gonna be the perfect time because it's nice when you're driving down the highway. Because I live in Loveland, but then you got the sun coming down right behind the mountains. Sometimes it's just a peaceful drive. You know what I mean? Very laid back.
Sweet.
Oh yeah.
Well, thanks again, man. Hope to have you back. If you can join us.
Thank you very much.
Thank you all for watching. Like, share, subscribe. Tell your friends. Till next time. Peace and love.
Peace.